what was your whole opinion of how everything went down?
One thing I did like is the whole battle thing. Like Gucci came in, dissing,
and then have Kanye chime in with the scoopity boop.
Yep, pretty much.
My man Funk Flex had himself a little bit of a tummy tuck, but you know, Mike was trying to throw them haymakers. Like, man, you get in my way, trust me, you about to go to this floor. So Roy knew what he was doing. Let's go back and talk about the verses with Jeezy and Gucci.
Yeah!
Because we were supposed to do that last week, but we didn't get to really talk about it. What was your whole opinion of how everything went down? Did you get to watch the whole thing, or was you?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. Yeah, I saw it tonight. I'm not too much familiar with their catalog like that because I wasn't really, but it was good. And actually, I think, you know, I have to give them credit. They both had bars. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, okay, they both rapping. I mean, it's not the style, you know, like the boom bap stuff, you know, but they got the talent. They can rap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. A lot of people wasn't feeling the Gucci's new stuff.
Yeah.
Jeezy kept on playing the old stuff and everything like that. So, I mean,
that was interesting too.
Yeah.
That part, yeah.
And you know, for him to do the whole truce thing, and they were doing at the end doing Icy. I think I did kind of spoke on that last week. It's just good to see men folk. Like, okay, let's move past something, especially something grave and tragic that was. But it was good to see men actually move past it. Like, we may not have to be friends, we may not have to like each other, but you know, you got a family, I got a family. You know, we don't want to see each other. You know,
right?
So I really think that was great, especially for young people to see right now.
Yeah.
In this culture, it's definitely good for them to see that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I do think it could have went left so quick because Gucci just kept trying to poke the bear, man. I mean, he just kept trying to open up wounds, and he kept trying to poke and prod. And
well, they ain't been in the same room 15 years.
Exactly.
I mean, and then on top of that, like, you know, dude sent a dude after him and end up killing the dude that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. I'd be like poking too, like, let me see what you gonna do, nigga. Cause I got some shit too. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's the difference. I mean, I just after a while, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't, but you know, I guess it's all in how you do it. But I mean, I would have been more on. My personality would have been more on what Jeezy's was. You know, we trying to do this for the culture. You know, look what happened to King Von, and you know, because he was trying to point that out. You know, ain't no point in us really bickering at each other. MO3, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was just crazy, man. But you know, I'm glad that eventually Gucci kind of came down and said, okay, let me relax. Let's just have fun. And I think that Gucci was trying to promote them new songs because he ain't really selling records, I don't think, like he used to. Yeah. And so I think that was his way of just saying, let me promote myself and see if I can help my sales and blah, blah, blah. But that's not what we were here for. You know, what we were here for is the what y'all gave them classic songs over the years that the streets like. You know what I mean? Even if people like me, I'm not really a Gucci fan or a Jeezy fan. Yeah. But they were still classics to a lot of young kids who out there in the streets. So, you know, represent that. You know what I mean? You ain't got to try to keep promoting nothing new.
But one thing I did like is the whole battle thing. Like, Gucci came in, dissing.
Yeah.
I mean, and people was like upset about that, but nah, it is a battle technically. That's kind of what.
It is.
That's how hip hop kind of got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like the foundation. So I mean, it was cool. It was cool to see that element, even though it could have turned left, like you said. It was cool to see that element. And cause most of the time, you know, everybody's like, ha, you know, we friendly, reminiscing about this, which is cool. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? You don't want like, you know, like the Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight version. You don't want them pulling their hair off and shit.
Right.
Nah, you want two aunties sitting back there chilling like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, oh yes, child. You know, that's what you want right there.
Yeah.
The Brandy and Monica one, it was kind of like, you know, a little tension, but
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little tension there.
Yeah, but that I think as far as like the tension go, I think it was needed in a way, but I'm glad that no one was hurt.
Right.
I'm glad about that.
And that's what's most important.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I said, in the end, the culture did win. And that's what really counts. You know what I mean? The culture won. And so, you know, you can't really, you know, be mad at that. So, you know, I enjoyed it. I look forward to the next one. You know what I mean? They've been talking about doing a whole bunch of new ones. I hope we still get the one that they leaked, the Tribe Called Quest and Outkast. I think that would be really good for the culture. Speaking of Outkast, did you hear about the Young Thug saying that he didn't know?
Oh yeah,
he didn't know nothing about Andre 3000 and his music, and that he wouldn't do a song with him and stuff like that.
Yeah, the reason why he ain't gonna do a song with him because he'd outshine your ass. First of all,
exactly. It's
but
like,
nigga,
dude, you sound so stupid, man. I don't get you.
Everybody was on Fresh and So Clean. I mean, but see, that's crazy, man. You would, and honestly, I could understand. I hate to say it like this. I can understand if it was like an old school New York rap,
right?
Because I understand that for whatever reason they're trying to put a gap between that, which I think is fucking stupid.
Right.
But I can understand it.
Yeah.
This dude's literally in your backyard. And you're like, nah, he wasn't. Hey, what is up with that?
He was one of the people that helped blow up the ATL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
So
if it really wasn't for them and Goody Mob, like where would your career be?
Right. So I don't know. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. That was a shocker to me because I would have seen, like you said, I could see Young Thug saying that about maybe a New York rapper, but somebody who bought your own area up.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
Anyway, but yeah, I just, you know, that was funny to me. But yeah. So let's move on. We'll see what happens with Fredro and Royce and all of that. And Young Jeezy and Gucci, I'm glad y'all did that.
Yeah,
you know, for the culture.
But yeah, man, y'all mumbling young Thug talking about that. What up? Has he made anything else?
I don't know, man. I ain't heard nothing. I don't want to hear anything. I really don't care. Because I mean, he's one of them people. I don't think he really cares for the culture of music. I think he's one of them that said, oh, I can make a few words rhyme and make a nice hook here and there. Somebody gonna like it. And then when people bought it, he was like, oh shit, now I made a few million. I can sit back and just do whatever. So I don't think he's in it for the music. I think he just, you know, he was just like, I can make some money doing this dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Just, I told people, what they need to do. They should have had a remix and had like Louis Armstrong go there scatting or some shit.
Right. And then have Kanye chime in with the scoopity boop.
Yep, pretty much.
Right. You know, it's like, come on, man. But it's embarrassing, man, when you hear stuff like that going on in your own culture because you want better for the culture.
Yo, yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And I know that there's always going to be somebody like that in any culture who don't, you know, in rock and roll there's probably people like that. In country music there's probably people like that. But it seems like in hip hop it's more of them now than the people who care about the culture. They're starting to outweigh. You know what I mean? So it's like we need the tables to turn. It should only be a little bit of you fuck niggas. You know what I mean?
Man, that's the thing though. You look at rock music. Like I was watching something about, rest in peace, Chris Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll watch something on that. But like now, granted, they were shooting back to the Stones and stuff. Because they ain't really shooting back to the other part, like black people made rock.
Right.
Let's get that straight.
Right.
But
absolutely.
the thing of it, but at least he thought enough back. They're like, hey, these people, that's what I was listening to. This is what I'm inspired by. You know what I'm saying? They always gave their flowers to the people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like us, it's like, nah, we ain't giving no shout out to fucking Humpty, Digital Underground and Humpty. Fuck them niggas.
Right.
Them old niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're so quick to them old niggas. I mean, if it wasn't for them, you would not be here. They opened doors that you could not possibly have opened because none of y'all are really trying to, not too many of them anyway, some of them are, but none of them are really trying to open doors for the next generation. It's more so, let me get my shine. Fuck everybody else. You know what I mean?
Shine now.
Man, I can't roll with that philosophy, man. I'm here to help other people. Because I want other people to shine just as much as me.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
In the words of Nas, I wish you much success, even if you wish me the opposite.
Exactly. But yeah, man, let's move on. My man, Funk Flex.
Oh, let me drop. You want to drop him? Let's drop a bomb real quick.
Drop a bomb on Funk Flex. My man, Funk Flex had himself a little bit of a tummy tuck. And
wow.
My dog is doing sound effects now.
Yeah.
My dog's like, what the fuck did you just say, nigga? This nigga had a tummy tuck. But he didn't have the actual tummy tuck, but he had some liposuction, and supposedly he's getting drugged for it. But basically, from what I understand, he had fat removed from his stomach, but also from the underarm and the back. Yeah. They sucked it out his back too. So everybody's kind of running him through the mill because of that. It's just saying he corny for doing that instead of just like trying to do it the right way and exercise and all of that.
Sometimes people exercise and some of it don't matter. It just don't come off.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not gonna knock him for that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then too, that's the thing. That's a big procedure. It ain't like you just get it out of you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lifestyle change you have to do.
Complete lifestyle change.
Yeah, there's a whole process on that whole thing. Like you ain't just getting it sucked out and just coming out. You know what I'm saying? No, man. It's definitely a process on it.
But yeah, so to each his own. He may have had something he was battling with, and it might have been like you said, where no matter how much exercise you do, you still got the little bit of flab that just won't go away, and sometimes that happens. You know what I mean?
I got that now. I ain't gonna show it though.
Right.
I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna show it.
We all got a little bit of something we trying to get rid of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna knock him for it. You know what I mean? He was bold enough to post it on his social media and say, here's what the doctor had to remove from me and all of this and that, so.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, man. If he doing that for his health, that's what he's supposed to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't be like, man, black people, they up here eating all this and all these fried foods and stuff and ain't doing nothing healthy.
Right.
Then you ban, it may not be the best healthy alternative, but he trying to do something about it. But they like, man, nah, you can't do, man, you up there sissified because you up there getting your back sucked out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want?
Right, exactly. We don't really know what's going on with him, man. So I think it's just best to, let people be, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? So shout out to Funk Flex. You know what I mean? Do your thing. If that's the way you had to do it, then do it. Because I know there's some of y'all fat mugs who are really like, I'm not exercising. I'd rather have somebody suck it out. And I ain't going to be mad at you for that. You know what I mean? Hell,
that's a lot of work.
Sometimes it's a lot, man. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
The fucks for, so I got my back sucked out. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? I got it tightened up. You know what I mean? I had to get the gut out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do my thing. That's what I be doing.
That's why I be dropping the bombs.
Dropping the bombs on. I should have dropped some more in the toilet so I wouldn't be so big. But
Funk Flex, we're here.
Cause he lied. He lied. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry.
Fuck, his energy be killing me. Man. He be on the chain. But anyways, let's move on. So you were saying that Willie D had done a podcast, I think with Joe Rogan, was it?
He was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Okay.
And actually he was with, which was weird because he actually showed up with Mike Judd. So let me ask you a question. What does Willie D and Mike Judd have in common?
I don't know actually. Because Mike Judd has never really done nothing with the group, has he?
Oh, yes, they did.
He has?
Yes, he did.
Okay, then I must not know then.
Let me take you back
school
to 99.
Okay.
A movie that came out back in the day, and I'm going to quote a line from it. Do you go to your work and someone says you have the case of the Mondays? No, man. Hell no, man. You get your ass beat for something, saying something like that, man.
I don't know that. I really don't know.
Office Space.
Is that from Office Space?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you remember the scene?
My wife likes that movie.
Yeah, you remember the scene? Have you seen it?
I saw it once.
Okay.
She's a bigger fan.
Okay. When they were going out in the open field, and they had that copy and they were beating the shit out of it because it was cuts in their paper. The song that was playing, it's called Still. That was the Ghetto Boys.
Okay.
So Willie D.
Got you. Okay.
That's the connection.
And that's why I didn't know, because I never really realized that.
Hey, yo, to this day, I didn't mean cut you out.
No, you good.
This day, man, you know when I had that religious experience?
Yeah.
I threw out that Office Space album, because that shit was fucking woo! Man, all the shit it had on it, it had the Ghetto Boys on it, it had some Ice Cube tracks.
Okay.
Jay Dilla was on it.
Okay.
The Slum Village. Yeah, but still, they was on it.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
That if you find it, that's a banger right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check that out. Office Space. I saw the movie, but my wife really was the one that pushed me onto it. Yeah. She was like, "Yeah, you got to see this movie." I'm like, "What's so special about it?" And after I saw it, I was like, "Okay, this is pretty funny."
Yeah,
I liked it.
But yeah, it's a dope movie. But yes, but they was on there on the podcast. Mike Judd had to step out. He didn't really talk to Mike Judd too much. Only thing, Mike Judd was also the co-creator of Beavis and Butthead.
Right.
So
that's what I'm also known for, the TV stuff. And King of the Hill, I think.
Yeah, he did King of the Hill. Oh, damn it, Bobby. Oh.
So just like that fool.
Nah, I had a friend, he killed his. Like, he sounded like him.
Dang it, Bobby.
He sounded like him to the T.
When he get to trying to cuss, God dang it, Bobby.
Now, my dude was Spoonhauer, though. That was my dude. I'll tell you what, man. You go on there and you see all that everywhere, man.
My man Dale was the one for me, man. He was stupid, yo. Dale Gribble.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so tell us more about what happened on this podcast.
So basically, Mike Judd had to leave. But Joe Rogan was just steady talking to Willie D. He's like, man, I'm a fan of Ghetto Boys, Willie D kind of told stories about, the whole, the whole Ghetto Boys experience, how they came to be, how how many members that came through. They talked about how they did the album cover of I think it was their second album, when Bushwick Bill got shot in the eye and stuff.
Hospital
It can't be stopped.
Yeah. I remember that.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit's hard. You don't get no more gangster than that.
Exactly. I heard him tell that story about how they shot that album cover. It was on maybe a documentary or uncensored or something, one of those types of shows, unsung or one of those types of shows. But I was like, whoa, I never knew that. You know what I mean? I always wondered if that was just a prop or something. I never really knew he had really gotten hurt.
Yeah.
So but go ahead.
But so he was on there. They also talked about Joe Rogan was actually urging him, like, yeah, man, get a podcast, man. Like, people would like to hear your stories. Yeah. Because he was I didn't know this. I mean, because, this was probably back in the day where, he had in Houston, Texas, back in the 90s, so we didn't have the internet, but Willie D was on a talk show, and basically, he was on there, and the guys on that owned the syndicate, because he didn't own it. he was like wanting him to talk about Monica Lewinsky and shit. And it's like, nah, I don't really want to talk about that shit because that's not something my listeners really, they're talking, they want to know about the stuff that's going on in, Houston, just that and the third.
Yeah.
Well, they kicked him, they kicked him out, they fired him, but the thing of it is, like, I was doing something, I had to have been doing something right because I had 15% of the market. So, yeah, man, so they talked about that. Then he also talked about that, which has been going around, the meeting that changed hip hop and how, how as far as like, how hip hop came, like you said, from the 80s, all that stuff, and now it just became like, we gotta make sure that you catch a charge,
right?
So we can get this, pipeline to prison thing going. So
yeah, I mean, it's almost like black destruction makes a lot more money.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Black disjointedness brings a lot more money to the table.
And we're not but we as a collective have been brainwashed by it because it's like, oh yeah, this is what sells. But like if you was in, if you was in the hood and stuff, and that's what like Dame Dash was getting at. It's like, okay, how are you gonna tell me you a program director? But you ain't really been in the hood. You ain't been, like, you just was a program. You ain't really moved up. But you going to tell, like, kids in the hood that know what's going on in the hood, tell them about, oh, that's not going to sell. Cause, like, get the fuck out of here.
Stupid shit. Yeah, man. So, it is what it is, man. I just, I got to go back and check that out because I didn't really get a chance to see it. I've watched the Joe Rogan podcast a few times, and I do like what he be doing. I think he do got a lot of sense. Some of the stuff he says I don't agree with, but
you're not supposed to. Right. I mean, you're not supposed to agree with everybody.
Exactly.
But, but I think one thing I like about the show, he has like a plethora of like different people from all walks of life, and I think that's what really makes the show great.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate as far as who he brings on the show, so that's a good thing. But yeah, and you were saying that you also saw an interview with Jaguar Wright recently.
Yeah, so basically, I forgot she was interviewing like a comedian. Well, she was the comedian kind of hit her up. I think they were just on like videos and stuff. And then she was basically talking about how like, hip hop is coming back. They got, Busta Rhymes, the whole Flip Mode squad, they cooking. Rampage got a new album. They're waiting for like Rod Digger to drop something. Really, it was really kind of good to see her like relaxed, kind of chilling. You know what I'm saying?
It really felt. She really tearing nobody down.
It felt good. I mean, she kind of name dropped some people,
of course, but
it wasn't like to the detriment like what she was. But yeah, it was really good to see that. I think she was like in a good place. Okay. You know what I'm saying? To talk about the stuff going on. She mentioned, like I was talking to you, she was mentioning about, Busta with his album, the Kendrick Lamar situation, like as far as like how she, like, Kendrick was bodied, not necessarily bodied. He outshined Jay-Z on one particular song back in the day. But then like Kendrick tried to do I ain't gonna say try to do the same with Busta Rhymes, but Busta Rhymes got up in there, and then basically she was talking about like T.I., she's like, no disrespect, like that Libra album was good, but compared to what Busta got, like, no, you not. Yeah, it's like you up there gonna get mad at like you got this dude got. I forgot her analogy, but basically. It's like you got a knife, but this dude got a gun airing shit out. Like you can't get mad. Like you supposed to lose. Exactly.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it was good, man.
It was really good to hear that conversation.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up with our last topics, real quick, don't forget. Like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
Like, share, subscribe.
And don't forget the question of the day: what was the best era of hip hop?
Yes. What do you think is the best era in hip hop? The 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s? Let us know your thoughts. Howie said he felt like the 90s was it. I felt like it was the 80s. Weigh in and let us know how you feel. So let's talk about the fight. We have Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Which to me wasn't even the star of the show, but we're gonna talk about that first. Did you get to watch that?
Man,
listen. I was glad to see them, step in the ring and do an exhibition fight, and it went the full 8 rounds, but each round was only like 2 minutes long, so they made sure it wasn't too long.
Well, I tell you what, man. I still would get in the ring with Mike.
Right.
Mike still got it.
Oh yeah, he still got it.
I mean, Roy didn't do too bad of a job neither. I mean, we're hearing Snoop commentating and stuff. But he did it. He did it. I think they did it right, but definitely Roy was out of shape. Tyson got winded a little bit, but it was definitely like in later rounds, like in the 5th round, Roy was pretty much done. It looked like to me. Yeah. But I think like the 6th or 7th round, that's when Tyson kind of got winded. It takes a lot out of you, like a fight and the stamina and stuff. It takes a lot.
Yeah, and Tyson said that, and for those of y'all who don't know, the fight was a draw. They didn't call a winner. But to me, if I had to pick a winner, it would have been Tyson.
Tyson, clearly.
Because Tyson was actually trying to fight. Roy Jones, you could tell he was more so like, I wasn't that serious about this. So Roy Jones was like, he was either hugging it out with Tyson, like, all right, hold on, big boy. Hold on. Or he would like try to tap him and run, and run around.
He caught him a couple of good times.
He did. Yeah. He caught him one good jab. Yeah. Mike wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But, Mike was trying to throw them haymakers like, man, you get in my way, trust me. You about to go to this floor. So Roy knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't really get mad about that. It was smart fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was smart.
Yeah, it was just, when you're a fan, you want to see some actual boxing.
Yeah.
Not a whole bunch of hugging and running. You know what I mean? It was like, now hug it out, hug it out, hug it out.
You said hug it out.
What's that hug it out? But yeah, so, that was called a draw. I think they both got like a little belt prize or something, you know what I mean? So it was cool.
Roy was like, I don't do draws. Everything you threw at me hurt.
Right. Roy was like, yeah. I think Roy would have been happier if they just called it for Tyson because he knew I couldn't fuck with this dude.
Yeah.
But the real star of the show that was more entertaining was my man Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul. So, some of y'all may know Nate Robinson from basketball. He played in the NBA. I think he played on multiple teams, but I know the Knicks was one of them.
Yeah.
And then Jake Paul was a YouTuber. So they were both just trying to transition into something different to see what they can accomplish. And I don't know. I can't remember if Nate had done any other fights. I don't think he had. If he did, I can't remember. But I know they said Jake Paul had done one other fight, and he did win that fight.
Damn.
So this was his second fight.
Damn.
And the whole thing only went 1.5 rounds.
Damn.
They got through the first round. I mean, basically, Nate Robinson, he was trying to street fight more so than box.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
He's like taking these wild shots and just swinging hard and not being calculated. It's like, no, you can't just do that in boxing. You gotta be calculated. You gotta be able to bob and weave. You got defense, then offense, then defense. And he was just swinging, doing all this offensive stuff, but never really defending himself. So because he was so wild about it, Jake Paul was able to get the drop on him. You know what I mean? Man, he caught him with some good ones, boy. So if you want a quick, funny fight, that was it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He got knocked down 3 times. The third time, he just didn't get. He couldn't get it. The referee was like, I'm calling this. This shit is over. Man, there were so many memes made about this joint, man. I was dying. I mean, I sent you a few of them.
Yeah,
but that was only the tip of the iceberg. There's so many more.
My man was like, yeah, I'm doing this for the coach.
Right. He's like, I'll beat your ass, bitch. He said, I got a 6-pack on the bottom of my feet.
6-pack on my dick, man. Like, I got a beat, you know what I'm saying?
I got to beat my dick off of. Yo, that shit was funny as hell, man. Because that's from my man Ace Vane.
Yeah.
He does those little cartoon packages.
Yeah, he does. I think he did the Dragon Ball Z joint, too.
Yeah, he does those. Yeah. He does a lot of stuff, man. He's hilarious. And listen, that fight was over by somewhere between 11:45 and midnight is when that fight was over.
Okay.
And then Ace Vane's video was out by like 12:15, 12:30.
God.
I was like, dude, you was just ready for this, wasn't you? And it was so on point, you know what I mean? Because you see him, you know, training, and they're like, how long you been training? He's like, oh yeah, 5 minutes. I just been here about 5 minutes, and I'm done now. He was like, you really think you're ready for the fight? Right? He was like, I'm a whole athlete, nigga. Yo, that shit was that was the best one for me.
Yeah,
the cartoon.
Yeah, like this.
They had the one of Martin when he was fighting Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
Let me get a bucket of fries. Yo, that was funny. What else did they have? Shit, I don't forgot. There was so many memes going on, man. They had one I didn't send you. I gotta send it to you, man. Where they showed this little black dude, real small, almost like midget size, holding up his hands to my, and the caption read, "This the nigga that trained Nate Robinson." Yo, I was dead. Yo, I was like, yo, y'all need to lay off my dude. I mean, I give him props, man, because he was bold enough to get in there. But see, what really made him look bad was because he was the one before the fight that was talking a bunch of junk. Like, he called out Jake Paul, like, yeah, I'm going to beat your ass and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Jake Paul wasn't scared, so he was talking his trash too. But it's like the fact that you were the one that called him out, and now you got that night. Man, listen.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
He said, night, Nate.
Yeah.
What's the dude's name? Ha Davis.
The who?
Ha Davis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what people were saying. Like, they would call it, instead of, shout out to Urban X, but they was like, yeah, you gonna go Nate, not night, but you can go Nate.
You wanna go Nate?
You wanna go Nate, nigga? You wanna go Nate?
Everybody go Nate, nigga.
Nate.
Yo, that's hilarious. Y'all, if y'all haven't seen it, man, please go see it. I taped it, but mostly you can find it on YouTube. You know what I mean? I saw it was a bunch of them that was up there, and they did get taken down, but more people just keep putting them up there, so it's up there. You type it in, Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul, it'll come right up on YouTube.
And
Tyson, Jones, it'll come up.
And shout out to him though, because like one thing about it, at least he didn't come up there and be like, oh man, you know what I'm saying, yo, it's whack because you up there making. I mean, he taking it like a chance.
Yeah,
I think it'll wash up, and I'm looking forward really to see both of them. Maybe do a rematch. He gets some more training. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and it was a good event overall. It was like 5 different fights. The very first fight I thought was the best. It was like these featherweights, 2 Hispanic kids. One was like Vasquez and one was like Rodriguez.
Yeah, now they really getting into boxing. Heavy.
Yeah, man, that was the best. That was the actual best boxing match of the whole night because they was boxing and both of them was like throwing mad good shots at each other, and it just got progressively funnier throughout the night. With all the different stuff that went on. But and Snoop, man, like you said, Snoop's commentary, man,
that was
he was killing it, man.
Yo, when that mud hit me, take my hand, Lord. I was like, this nigga here.
I was like,
he done went to a spiritual.
Cause see, you could tell Snoop was on his side at first, because when the fight first started with Nate, Snoop was like, oh yeah, that's all right. He caught him right now, but that's how we do. We gonna come back and whoop that ass. That's all right. Next thing you know, Snoop was like, oh God, night. Snoop was like, oh, this nigga done fucked up now.
Oh,
man, listen. But that was the highlight of my whole weekend, and I mean, that was when I was still dealing with my pain. So that was like the first night I was actually out on the couch since Tuesday, because that was Saturday. Yeah. And I was finally able to get out of the room and get on the couch, and man, that made my whole night. I mean, that made my whole night. I was dying.
Snoop Dogg, you the MVP.
Right. They had some performances by Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg and somebody else, I forgot. Lil Wayne was supposed to perform, but he backed out at the last minute. I think because of his legal situation.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. But anyway, but that was it, man. We just wanted to drop that. We getting ready to shut it on down.
Yeah, cause boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. The S1, the new S1Ws is outside.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this has been episode 143. We really appreciate y'all. Don't forget the question of the day. Chime in once we load this up on YouTube, or you can chime in on Instagram or even Facebook. Wherever you listening from, Twitter. just let us know how you feel. We just want to know what your thoughts are on that question of the day. What's the best era in hip-hop? 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s? That's 4 different decades. You got to be able to point out one of them.
Yep.
So anyway, for episode 143, this is your man, Kurt Dog, and this is
Howard.
And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace.